people, welcome or welcome back to the All Things All American podcast where we talk all things all American. We missed another episode and I'm not going to apologize for it this time because last episode was slow. And the season 7 episode 8 episode was supposed to be a sit down review, like structured and character by character analysis and all of that. But no, it wasn't going to happen. Because what this entails is me watching it for the first time to get the shock value out, and then go in a second time for the minor details I may have missed during my first watch. That episode was really, really slow. I feel like it will make sense after the season wraps and I watch it in its entirety. But that episode was the filler and it felt like a filler. Also, I couldn't do a commentary on that video because I had already seen the episode. So, I don't know. So much plays into that. I didn't really like the episode, but there are a few things I need to note. Starting with Jordan's reaction to Khalil in that fight. Now, I think we all know how I feel about Yasi. So Khalil fighting or taking up for Yasi and, taking the blame doesn't fly with me because Yasi isn't even his friend, he's not even an acquaintance. This guy has given you problems for the longest time. So for you to take up for him, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me. It does speak to his character, but it's getting him in trouble, okay? Remember, he has to repeat the 11th grade because he missed so much of school. And then he's risking suspension, expulsion, his spot on the team for Yasi, of all people, okay? You know that if it came down to it and Yasi got in trouble with Coach Bobby or Khalil got in trouble with Coach Bobby would be more lenient with Yasi as compared to Khalil, okay? Yasi is the starting QB and we know he's good, okay? So I don't know why Yasi didn't speak up as well. This was a mess. Now back to Jordan's reaction. Jordan is vouching really, really hard for Khalil, okay? He's risking his job for starters. He's already on shaky ground with Coach Bobby. Then you do this. He has every right to be upset. He asked Khalil to explain himself. Now, I don't know if Khalil was scared or that's just in his character, but taking up for Yasi, it's really messing with my head, to be honest. Another thing is Jordan and Layla's dynamic. I really, really love how they play on each other, especially with the way they speak to each other, okay? These two have honesty as the basis of their relationship. So if something needs to be said, they're going to say it. So it wasn't really out of character for Layla to tell Jordan at the top of the episode when he's listening to Cassius's interview that maybe there's something worth listening to from what he's saying. Okay, you're getting defensive because of how Cassius feels about you and how you feel about him, but are you really listening to what he's telling you? And he did take that into consideration and apply it to the game, which is why they had an incredible first half. So again, I like how they conduct themselves in this relationship. I love that they can sit down and have actual conversations, okay, with each other. I like how Layla was the gentle parent in this episode, and she was the one who paused to actually listen to what Khalil was saying and help him convey the message to Jordan. Because I know how Jordan gets. Okay. Jordan is the pettiest person you ever encounter, but then, yeah, he's really serious. And Layla knows how sometimes it's difficult to get past that barrier when he's upset with you. So, yeah, I love that she spoke to him in a gentle way and helped him see a different perspective. Like, why was it so easy for you to just take it and roll with it? I mean, he did ask Khalil if he did it, and Khalil said yes. So, what was Jordan supposed to do? Like, just stand there and say, are you lying to me right now? Well, he could have, but you know what I mean. So, he listened as well, and he apologized to Khalil the next morning. So kudos to them for that. Next is Jordan and Cassius. Oh my gosh, Petty Jordan is out, but he's had enough of Cassius's nonsense, and so have I. If Cassius is the uncle, just tell us, okay, so we can all move on. But Jordan is finally taking up for himself. He was quick with the comebacks with Cassius in that conversation at the lounge, and the interview at the end where he was shading Cassius. Me, I loved that, because Cassius just, I don't know, he's irritating me now, because what's your problem? Okay. I think that was my main issue with Cassius as a character from episode 1. The asymmetric information here is really, really bothering me, because only the writers know what Cassius's issue is. So at least tell me, and then Jordan can find out in the distant future, because he's not thinking about it like that. To Jordan, this is just about the beef on the field, because Cassius really hasn't dropped substantial hints to him or Layla. Now, I was listening to something, or I read it somewhere, I can't really remember, but somebody was like, no, Jordan, how can you judge Cassius about him having two different sides when he was only nice to you once? He's basing this assumption on Cassius's relationship with Layla, okay? Layla doesn't take disrespect from anyone. Let's just put it out there. I think we've seen this trend of her walking away when she feels that she's not valued, when she feels disrespected. Okay, so I don't see Layla being friends with Cassius if he speaks to her the way he speaks to Jordan. Okay, and Jordan doesn't either. So if you can be nice to my wife, and if she considers you a friend, you must be a decent person. Okay, so I think that's why he was basing his judgment, and he's not wrong, because at the moment Cassius is only nice to KJ, Ava sometimes, because he has attitude with her a lot, and Layla. So there's that. Something else I really appreciated from last episode is Layla's relationship with Khalil. Okay, they're really bonding, and you can see that they're getting more comfortable with each other, especially on Khalil's end. I did expect this from Layla, because Layla, I feel, is a people person. She loves to get through to people and to help them. We saw it in season 3 with Carrie. We've seen it a lot with Jordan. Okay, we've seen it with Amina, and now we are having a fully fleshed out storyline with Khalil. Not to forget Elle, who she is going to be working with. Sorry, I'm giggling because of the last scene with Jordan and Layla, where Jordan is telling Layla how she has this light to her, and he's seen her glowing after working with Elle. So she is getting back to music. She is essentially building a new relationship with her job. Remember, she got into music because she wanted to find a way to connect with her mom, but now she's finally learning to do it for herself. And this time is because she genuinely enjoys what she does. Now, I'm not saying she didn't like it before, but it's been over 2 years since the Patience Miko incident where she stepped away from producing. So I don't think she's really gone back into it. And now with Elle, there's this new glow, this new light, and it's finally clicking. The world is finally making sense to her. Lastly, Amina. Amina's looking for answers. And I almost forgot about the date. Amina's really stuck between KJ and Khalil. But I don't know, I'm leaning more towards KJ for Amina as opposed to Khalil. Don't get me wrong, I am still feeling for Tori because she's in the mix. I'm supposed to be an objective viewer, but Tori is my baby. Like, that's my heartbeat, and I just know that she's going to be hurt. So yeah, I'm gravitating more towards her. The way KJ put so much effort into making sure Amina was okay, him going to her house to check up on her, to see her in her dress and all of that. There's a different energy between how Amina is with KJ and how she is with Khalil. Okay. The dynamic between these two is Amina has a crush on Khalil, okay? But she has feelings for KJ, but she doesn't know it yet, okay? How comfortable she is with KJ isn't on a friendship level, especially given how much time they've had to get to know each other. It's literally been months, okay? And they're able to talk. It's more than just KJ being there for Amina. They genuinely enjoy each other's company. So yeah, I hope Amina sees it before it's too late. But then KJ is also playing in Tori's face. Child, this is messy. But back to what I was saying with Amina. She is finally looking for answers with Preach and Coop. I was under the impression that she knew what happened that night because she knew that Preach had to save Coop, right? And her mom died. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious that Preach shot Mo to save Coop, but I don't think she knows the exact reason, okay? All she knows is her mom did something bad and Coop needed to be saved. So now she's saying, okay, what is this bad thing she did? Okay. There's a post I'm being disrespectful by quoting people's things without shouting them out, and I'm so sorry. But there's a post I saw where someone was saying that she want to paint her memory of her mom, because we've heard her talk about Mo and how she admires how good of a lawyer she was, how her mom did all this for the Black community. So learning that Mo was trying to set Coop up for a crime she didn't commit in the name of her brother, okay, that's going to be a lot to deal with. I don't know if I want her to go through that door, because yeah, that's a whole different ball game. Okay, trying to forgive somebody who's not here to explain themselves, I don't know, it's not an experience I would wish on anyone. So yeah, I think that's why I'm struggling with this for her if they decide to go that route. So there's that. I wish her well on this journey. She ran off to Baltimore. Girl, okay. Does Amina know her mother and her uncle were ex-drug dealers? I hope they tell her, because I'm sorry, this custody battle thing still plays on my mind, because why are the grandparents fighting so hard knowing the kids they raise. You know, you want to lead the third baby down the same road? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So there's that. But I hope they'll be honest with her. This is something she needs to heal and move on and find peace. I think that's enough on season 7, episode 8. I know I didn't go into depth with the episode, so if anyone has something they want to add, or if you want to have a discussion later, please feel free to reach out. You know, I can talk for miles and miles and miles. So I'm always open to talking about the show. Brief intermission before we start with season 7, episode 9. I am going to ask you to forgive the person I was last week when I recorded the little segment about season 7, episode 8. I don't know who these people are. I don't like anyone anymore. What is this? Jordan Baker is missing. He was kidnapped. He was lost in transmission. KJ is just a mess. He's being very, very silly. Spencer James, I have no words. Darnell, you are excused because you're a single man. And yeah, we really don't know what you do in your free time. So in an episode where the only person I'm not mad at is Cassius, we know the world is going wrong. These people are, oh my gosh, I'm in shock. I'm literally in shock. You know, I'm not even mad at the fact that they wanted to go to a strip club and they were excited about it, because I mean, they're 23. Okay, they've barely lived. Have they ever been to a club? No. Have they ever been to a party, a proper adult party? No. You know, in fact, last party these people went to, like an actual party, was the Baker twins' birthday in whatever season that was. I swear, because Leela's birthday wasn't a party, you know? So yeah, I mean, I don't even care that they wanted to have a boys' night and they wanted to go to the strip club or whatever. It's the little comments, okay? Now, what's pissing me off so much is Jordan has been doing so well this season. He's been doing so well, and I think everyone that's been watching, every reviewer I've listened to so much, has actually witnessed the growth, and then he regresses so bad. Why are you doing this, Jordan? You know, yeah, like I said, people have self-control, okay? Not every person that sees a woman walking past in skimpy clothing will have perverted thoughts about her. You know, they can go to a strip club and throw money. People do it all the time, okay? It's the fact that you're saying you want to go because Layla's gone. Jordan. You know, I'm in disbelief. Not like, what the hell? What the hell? Last time Jordan touched or even looked at a woman in that sense was 418. How many episodes ago was that? Let's see. Season 4 had 2. Season 5 had 20. So that's 22. Plus the 15 in season 6. That's 37. Plus the last 8. So 45 episodes. For 45 episodes, Jordan Baker has been literally the ideal partner to Layla in terms of respecting her and respecting their relationship. Yes, they've fought. Yes, they've gotten petty with each other. But this is a different level. Now, I won't put it on Jordan because he's been consistent for 45 episodes. Okay, how many minutes is 45 episodes? Wait, 45 by 40 on average. For 1,800 minutes, this man has been consistent with being a good partner to Layla. Okay? and then this episode happens and it's a completely different. This is nothing we've seen before. Okay, even when Jordan was a whore back then, he was never crude with his remarks towards the person he was dealing with. My gosh, no, I'm so upset, and I won't pin it on the character. Okay, I just want to make this very, very clear to the people listening that I'm not mad at Jordan as a character. I'm more so upset with how the character was written. This episode was very strange. I don't know if the writer hates the women, hates the men, or just doesn't want anyone to be happy. Literally, everyone was out of character, including Darnell. Okay? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No, I can't wrap my head around it. I can't see Spencer or Jordan wanting to go to a strip club for the sole purpose of fulfilling their needs because their women are away. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Given what they've sacrificed, what they've gone through to get to where they are, blowing it over this nonsense doesn't strike me as them. Okay? Yeah, no. Even if it's a mistake, no. They're too old to make this kind of mistakes. I'm sorry, not sorry. So yeah, I think that's where I stand with this. Now, going back to Jordan's character, another thing that really, really bothered me is every time we heard about this strip club, it was initiated by him. Okay? I get that you really want to go, Jordan, but come on. The entire episode? Ugh, pissing me off. At this point, I'll just shut it down. But yeah, anyways, so this episode is foreign Jordan, alternative universe Jordan. No, this is British Jordan, the British Jordan from Spencer's Dream in 520. Yes, this is it. I think so too. So from now on, this is the alternative reality. Yes, that's what we're going with. So this is British Jordan, this is American Spencer. I think so too. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, let's start with the season 7 episode 9 review. So we're going to start with the OG cast. We'll go to the new gen and then end with Cassius. He's the only adult we got, so that's that. So let's start with Jordan Baker. Okay, initially I was like, Jordan, what do you mean you're taking Khalil to the strip club? I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was blinded by rage. Like, I was infuriating. I think you can tell by the difference in the voices, but this is 2 weeks after the episode aired. So yeah, I think I'm calm enough to make an objective analysis of what happened in that episode. I was serious. Like, when I say I was angry. So yeah, I just watched it back and I realized that Jordan was inviting the guys to the house before the strip club so they could relax with Khalil. I don't think he was going to be indulging in the alcohol and whatever, but yeah. So just to make this clear in case anyone else missed it, Jordan wasn't taking Khalil to the strip club. They were relaxing at the house or pre-gaming with Khalil at the house, just having a chill time, and then the adults were going to go to the strip club. Now, speaking of the strip club, Jordan decided Cassius was going to come along. Sigh. Jordan, you know what? Jordan, I don't know. Sometimes I want to shake Jordan. I just scream at him to leave Cassius alone. Like, that's the person he is. But Jordan, Cassius has been so mean to you. Walk away. It's enough. Well, I've had enough. But I'm glad they're still keeping him the way he is, because this is Jordan Baker. This is the Jordan we've always known. Yes, he spazzes out a bit, he's petty, he gets into fights with Jordan, but it's never that serious, you know. So yeah, he was trying to text Cassius, but obviously Cassius hates Jordan, so he wasn't going to respond. And what does Jordan do? He texts KJ and says, "You drag your father to my house." I love that. Yeah, I love that they're in contact like that on a personal level. Because if you remember, the first time we met Jordan and sorry, the first time Jordan met KJ was at South Crenshaw, when KJ just found out that his parents were separating and him and Cassius were moving to LA while his mom went back home. And Jordan helped him calm down and like understand it and whatever. So they've been building on to that relationship from there. KJ is still Jordan's biggest fan, but they're more on a personal level now. And yeah, I personally think they're in regular contact, so good to them. Anyways, so I'm going to talk about the strict up a lot, just be prepared. The plan was to go there and get drunk. Okay, like blackout drunk. I don't know what the plan there was, because how are you getting home? But yeah, so the plan was to get drunk, but plans changed and Spencer decides, no, we are going to the arcade. We are going to have a little competition. Okay, since you're going to act silly like this, let's motivate you. So Cassius and Jordan are on the same team. Now, something worth noting is that Jordan has zero aim. How the hell are you a QB and have no aim? That concussion at the end of at the end of his football career took away his aim, which is a shame. And oh yes, something big happened. Well, big to me, because I feel like a lot of us forget that Jordan's loaded. Hey, so we got a friendly reminder that Jordan Baker has money. Yay! Good on the writers. Yeah, good on them. Anyways, so that's well, another thing that was substantial with Jordan's storyline this episode was his relationship with Khalil. Now, when I say that, it's shifting, okay, from a friend-ish, a mentor, somebody just looking out to you, to a parent role, okay? He's having very parental thoughts. I feel like a fear of messing up, or a fear of not being enough or making a big enough impact in somebody else's life is an actual fear parents have. I'm not a parent. I'm nowhere near being a parent, but I'm an older sibling, okay? And sometimes I just feel very, very maternal towards my little brother, because I spend the most time with him. So there's that instinct that this person's looking up to me for help, and just as a person, like, this little human is looking at me, and they're most likely going to pick up some habits of what I'm doing. Now, side note, I found it very, very weird that Spencer was blaming Jordan and Cassius for the beef with KJ and Khalil, but with the way they've been handling conflict, more so on Cassius's side, because he's the one who started it, those little snide remarks and whatever, it makes it okay for KJ and Khalil to keep going at it, you know? So there's that. So Khalil is watching Jordan and Cassius go back and forth, and what does he do? He jumps in. Okay, so there's a bit of the parent role with Jordan's character. Like I said, it's really, really shifting now. So yeah, his doubts are valid. His doubts are valid. Also, he left Khalil behind. That's parenting 101. I think every single one of us had that little moment where, were forgotten at school, or they're late to pick you up and you thought they forgot. This is exactly it. I'm telling you, yeah, we've all had this moment. So congratulations to this too. Also, when they get back to the what the hell is Jordan doing on that chair? That dance. I'm scarred for life. Layla, come get your man. Okay. Yeah. Oh, did you guys notice that Jordan went to the storage closet to get a bottle of champagne? Now, it might not be significant to you guys, but to me it's big, considering how he's been behaving this whole episode. He doesn't work there anymore. He was fired, if you don't remember. But his presence alone is enough, okay? Their managers there, I'm sure the waitresses have access to that. They're allowed to go in if you need something more. If you need more of something, you can just go get it. But they specifically asked Jordan to do it. And what does he do? He actually gets it, okay? So even while Layla is away, he still feels the need to look after what's important to her. And the lounge it's her baby now, okay? So that was something with, I think that was one of the few things he did right this episode. And over here, we commend, we give our fives when they do. Actually, no, this one was a 10. Okay, he deserves a 10 for this. So that's, oh, and lastly, I love that Khalil actually thanked Jordan for everything he's been doing for him. Like I said before, Jordan is struggling, okay, with feeling like he's an adequate part of Khalil's life. This is a very similar conversation Layla had in a previous episode this season. I can't remember what episode it was, but she was talking about, no, it was the episode with Cassius, the one where they had the party at the house, whatever episode that was, where Cassius was advising Layla to just keep up and just be present and whatever. This thought, I really the same person, hey? Yeah, so Layla has had a similar conversation where she feels like she's not going to be enough and she's not going to be able to make an impact on Khalil's life, but they're doing something right, okay? And Khalil makes it known that he recognizes what they're doing for him and he's really appreciative of that. So yeah, I love that. Next character is Spencer. Okay, so now we know how Spencer feels about Crenshaw. That's his home, that's his neighborhood. So it's not out of the ordinary that he would go out of his way to do things for the school, be it donations or actually just going there and visiting and giving a speech. So knowing this, Jordan invites Spencer while they're in town for their game, just to pass by and talk to the football players. Again, some of these are doing it to stay out of trouble, like Khalil. Others actually want to go pro. So it's always nice to take advice to somebody that's been on the same road as you. Yeah, his speech was really cute. I like it. I think I've spoken enough about the strip club. So we'll skip over the fact that him and Jordan were fighting about who came up with the name. Sigh. Yes. So now Cassius and KJ show up to their house and Spencer isn't pleased with the back and forth between Jordan and Cassius. What he doesn't know is this beef is one-sided for the most part. Literally, Jordan just had enough, and he's giving Cassius this energy back. So Spencer is like, no, but you're not setting a good example for these people. But if you think about it, Spencer is like the most competitive person ever. So he's been in this position where he's trash talking the other team, and they're having little petty arguments. Like, I don't know, Jordan and Cassius's beef at the moment isn't that serious because one, it's one-sided. Two, Jordan isn't serious, please. Fighting with Jordan is like fighting with a toddler. It's never that serious. So to plan a whole day around it, to put these two in a place to be more competitive, child. Okay, anyways, so again, it's not out of character for Spencer to do things like this because we know he has a savior complex, and he tried to get rid of it in season something. I remember vaguely something about him and Dr. Spears' conversation where he was recognizing that he does have this problem and this savior complex, and he's trying to be better and stop saving everyone, which clearly hasn't gone anywhere because this is where we are. And Jordan and Cassius aren't the only two he's fixing. Okay, he's trying to mend Khalil and KJ's relationship by pairing them together so they can, spend more time to bond and get over whatever it is they're going through. And he's trying to fix whatever it is with Coop and Amina. Sigh. I mean, he get his wins, but it was a long day, honestly. Another thing, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about everything, but it is what it is. I don't like how they wrought the twin reveal. I don't know. Maybe it's because we already knew from the jump. Like, the second we found out Liv was pregnant, we also knew that she was having twins. So they didn't get to do the whole reveal to the cast. Okay, so they're consistent with that. We didn't see it for Jordan and Layla's engagement as well. We came back a year and a half later and everyone knows that they're engaged and they're fiancés. So yeah, even this case, 702, only Layla knew because we're not talking about that. And then Liv spoke to Spencer. Obviously he's going to know, he's the husband. So we don't know who told Jordan, whether Layla gave Liv the opportunity to tell him, or if Spencer was the one who did it, or if Layla and Jordan just, doing a couple of things and telling each other everything. So yeah. But we had a very mediocre twin reveal, and we had a Liv update just that she's pregnant and she's at home. Literally, that was like, give me more. Okay, you're bringing this guest star in, especially if they were such a huge part of the first 6 seasons. Every time they come back, they're only coming back for an update, to give us an update of where they are in their lives, what's going on with your football career. Are you facing any new struggles? Are you still MVP of your team? What else is going on? I mean, they did tell us because he had a game on Monday. Well, they're in for the weekend and they have a game on Monday. But give me more. Again, what's Liv working on while she's back in New York? Why didn't she come with you? Her brother and her best friend are in the town. You have a game. She can't be too far along to the point where she can travel. So what kept her there? Is she working on a new project? Is she writing a new book? Is she having an appearance of some sort? Is she having a new sponsor back there? All of that. Elle was introduced as Liv's sponsee, and the one time we didn't even see them interact. We just know that Liv has a new sponsor. So we don't know if they're actively still participating in this sponsor-sponsee relationship. Like I said, I felt like that was a plot device to use Liv to get to Layla. Yeah, because after Liv left, Elle reached out to Layla, and now they're working together. So yeah. Anyways, so Spencer is very he's getting his ducks in a row. He's becoming a father, and like any parent, you get paranoid. Am I going to do things right when the baby comes? Am I going to be a good parent? Okay, so he's talking to the only parent in reach, which is Cassius. And then Cassius is talking about how he's been there for KJ and he never really saw the NFL as a dream, but KJ does, so he's doing everything in his power to get KJ there, i.e. being KJ's coach. Let's park this conversation a bit. Last time I spoke about KJ and Cassius's relationship, I did mention that Cassius seems like the stay-at-home parent, the more active parent with KJ, while Ava goes to work and travel the world and all of that, which I thought he has some resentment towards her because she gets to continue her life while he basically puts his on hold so that he can be within reach for KJ. This conversation with Spencer further emphasized that for me because he put his dreams on hold, okay, so that he can make KJ's come true. And that freaks Spencer out because if you see his face when Cassius says this to him, where when you have kids, their dreams become your own and yours stop to matter, that shouldn't be the case. I mean, no. Life keeps going, life doesn't stop the second you get pregnant. And I think this is the mentality Layla is in as well. Layla, she's still trying to figure out her life and her career and all of that. But she needs to understand when you have a baby, you can do that too. Okay, you can have a career woman with kids. But I also see the downside of that. She had career parents as well. Literally every one of the Beverly kids had parents who were hyper focused on their careers. JP and Monica were artists and they did travel a lot. Okay, not to forget Monica's mental health issues, which further drove them away, which is why Layla spent so much time at the Baker house. Laura was hyper focused on developing her law career, which put her in the DA position. Billy was an NFL professional, so he was always on the road, so it would make sense why Layla would be hesitant with being a parent. Spencer's case, the baby is already here, but the babies are already on their way, okay? So there's no time to say, no, I'm not ready. But the fear is there, okay? Cassius telling him his dreams have to be on hold now that he's having a baby. It's scary, okay? Because he's living his dream, being in the NFL. So does the twins coming mean he has to stop so he can be at home? Well, sorry, I'm being a bit too dramatic because there'll be newborns, they don't have dreams yet, but you get the gist. Anyway, so he's he's using his psychology degree to try and pick at Cassius's brain, to see what's going on between Cassius and Jordan. At the arcade, he noticed that this beef is very one-sided, Jordan still thinks it's just playful. They're both being petty, but Cassius has very serious ulterior motives, which Spencer picked up on. Okay, he's like, no, I don't think this beef between them is as innocent as Jordan is describing. Now, again, Jordan is literally the most unserious person ever. Fighting with Jordan is like fighting with a toddler. It's draining. It's very draining. So the fact that Cassius is going so hard to fight with Jordan, hasn't done anything really. He was literally fighting for his life with Coach Bobby. Then this guy comes along. I've never met you, and you're giving me all this negative energy for why, you know? So there was that. He does blame this feud between Jordan and Cassius on the way Khalil and KJ interact. I'm not with it because, like, if you've been watching the show from day one, you would know that this happened long before Cassius and Jordan even met. So to put the blame on Cassius and Jordan and how they're going about the beef doesn't sit well with me. But that's that. In the midst of all this, Khalil gets himself in some trouble, with the gangs and what. Khalil, please. Anyways, but they all show up, and Spencer is like, no, do you want me to call Flip in? And my head immediately goes back to 5:15, where it was 5:14, where Jordan was struggling. He was having his struggle out with Billy's death, and he wants to have Spencer's support and all of that, but Spencer is too busy partying. And Flip walks in, okay, and Spencer puts him out. Did Spencer ever apologize for that? Let me know, but I don't think he did. So to be out here asking for favors for somebody who you treated like that, like, do we have no shame? I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, but come on. Again, the show is very consistent with this. With Simone and Layla, we know how Simone and Layla left things at Brixton, where Simone was like, no, what, I can't be your friend, blah blah blah. And then last season, in season 3 of Homecoming, she's picking up the phone to call Layla to ask for favors for Cam. Ma'am, okay. The next was in 702, where Layla's clearly panicking and Liv is too busy with Elle. Then goes to greenlight Elle to, reach out to Layla about her career. I still stand on that hill that Liv was a plot device for Elle to get to Layla. So, like I said, this show is very, very consistent with having people ask for favors after they were being very, very silly with them. Anyways, so like I said before, Spencer, he's in his head about, the kids coming, and he does admit to Cassius that he's scared of having the kids and whatever. I find it cute because, he's a new parent, and being thrown into parenthood that young. They're 23, and they're having twins. Not one, but two. So you have to figure out newborn stage times 2. Hectic. I wish them all the best. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention, sorry, in 702, when Liv found out she was pregnant, right? I feel like it was obvious that she was going to have twins, because having twins is genetic, especially fraternal twins, on the maternal side. Okay, so I watched a whole video about it, where fraternal twins are hereditary, while the identical twins are spontaneous. Okay, Liv is a twin, so she has the gene to carry more twins, and it's always on the mom's side of the family. So if Layla happens to get pregnant with twins, those are going to be identical, because that's going to be spontaneous. One egg is going to split, while Liv will have fraternal twins, whether it's 2 boys 2 girls or 1 girl 1 boy. My money is on 1 girl 1 boy. So that's that. Next person we are talking about is Darnell. Oh, finest Darnell. I miss him. He's cute to look at. I won't say what I want to say, but Darnell he's the single friend, you know. Married people, stay away from single friends, because look what they make you do. This guy is, I don't know, you know, his mind is in the gutter 24/7. He's having fun with his life because he doesn't have anyone to commit to. Okay, so it looks like Darnell is a bit promiscuous. They are he's hooking up with everyone everywhere. Whenever they have a game in a city, he has somebody. Did you notice that he left the arcade with 2 women? Like, sir, come on. Also, he had the connection to the strip club. So this guy, I mean, he's living his life. We can't hold up against him. Again, they're 23. Okay, I feel like everyone else. Okay, I digress. Now, apparently, Darnell is playing on the same team as Spencer. We didn't get an update on that. Again, Darnell isn't a regular. So when these people come in, we are supposed to be getting life updates. Okay, and the only thing we heard about Darnell is that he's a whore, basically, and he plays with Spencer. That's it. Sigh. Okay, so I guess that's all I have to say about Darnell, because nothing substantial happened there. Next person we're talking about is Coop. With Coop, I personally feel like we didn't have a healing journey after the whole Mo thing went down. Okay, I don't think she went through time to grieve her experience, because her focus was not going back to music. Okay, trying to figure out how to tell Layla that she couldn't play anymore. So she hasn't really sat down before today to think about what choices led her there. Okay, they had a fight with by they I mean Spencer and Coop, about how Coop was Spencer's stack point, and him getting shot was her fault, and she was in denial. But what I personally didn't pick up on the first time I saw that fight when it aired was that these two are more similar than different. Okay, Spencer is always going out of his way to look for ways he can save Crenshaw. Coop is also doing the same thing. Her excuse was she wanted to get rid of the gang violence to make Crenshaw safer for the kids that live there. Okay, yeah, so they both have a similar drive. Okay, they just go about things differently. Now she's pursuing a law career, which I can assure you will be to come back to contribute more to Crenshaw. So I can see why they're good friends, because they have similar values, similar principles, similar behavior patterns. So in this episode, one of the main reasons Spencer comes back is to ask Coop to be godmother, and she rejects this offer the first time because she's experiencing some turmoil with Amina and how this whole thing is going down, with Mo's revelation and how Amina is struggling with losing her mom. So she feels like if she is responsible for another life, she is going to make the same mistakes. But Coop needs to realize that she is grown from the person she was at 17, 18, and she wouldn't put herself in harm's way like that. And at the end of the episode, she does accept the offer, and it's the ideal choice. Okay, with how Coop is, her nature, how she has so much fight, how she is with Amina, how protective she is, she'll be the perfect person as godmother. Okay, she doesn't have too much going on in her life, so in the case that something happened to Spencer and or Liv, God forbid, she's the one that will be there to take over the day-to-day operations of the twins' lives, and she would be able to do it. So yes, another highlight of Coop in that episode was her conversation with Khalil. Okay, mutual understanding and helping each other in the same sentence. By giving Khalil advice, she is helping herself. Okay, she was feeling like she's a burden in everyone's lives because in some way, shape or form, every decision she's made has affected somebody. Spencer getting shot, Layla's business dwindling, Amina's mom dying, Preach having to shoot Mo. So she's kind of having survivor's guilt. But I'm glad her conversation with Khalil was able to help her move on from that situation, and that's what drove her to accept the godmother offer. So kudos to the writers. At this point, I don't even know why else we would need Coop. I feel like she's the bridge between Beverly and Crenshaw, adult-wise. So from now on out, I feel like her only job would be to help Khalil, because Amina's arc with Mo has ended, realistically speaking. Literally Khalil and his father, that's what's still standing. Yeah. Her relationship with her professor, I don't think is substantial to the bloodline. Okay, so that's all about Coop. Next person is my sweetheart, Tori. I want to just grab her and shake her sometimes because, baby girl, what are you doing? This girl needs to stand up, okay? Before we go into Tori and the storyline, there are things that happen in this show that just make it clear that these writers don't communicate in between episodes. The last episode, in 708, Tori walked away from KJ. She told him she was done. So now, why is Tori making up with him in his hotel room? Like, girl, do you not have shame? Go stand up. Stand up, Tori. So in that moment where they're making out and whatever, KJ is distracted, disrespectful, because I'm here with you. Why the hell are you thinking about another girl? And instead of masking it, like, you literally tell it to my face that you're thinking about somebody else. Sir, are you being for real right now? Anyway, so he tells her, and she is like, no, actually, I don't want to do this. Like, I can't be doing this anymore. And what does KJ do? He's like, no, I miss my family and whatever. Makes her feel bad, and somehow this works, and they're back to making out on the bed. Like, it's frustrating for me as a viewer because she deserves so much better. She has so much potential as a character. Besides being KJ's little ragdoll. So they need to do something better with her. So Tori is having a girls' night at Layla's. We didn't see the girls, so we don't even know if she has friends outside that, but she is on the cheer team. So I'd like to assume she's friends with people on the team as well. And my question to the writers is, why didn't Tori get Elle Grant's storyline? Okay, Elle doesn't add anything substantial to the plot apart from helping Layla find her purpose in her work environment and all of that. Tori should have gotten that story. Did you hear her sing? Oh, I think I fell in love, you guys. But yeah, so KJ walks in while she's singing, and this girl is beaming. Can she leave this guy alone? Like, I just wish she would stop. Yeah, but she always has some good advice for KJ, if I do say so myself. I like that she listens, for one. In the hotel room, they were talking about how KJ is homesick and all of that. And KJ was telling her about his day, what happened, and how everyone showed up for Khalil, and how Khalil has a village. And Tori's like, sir, you have one here too. Not Spencer or Donnell or all of that, because I mean they literally just met, but Jordan, he's there. Firm belief that Jordan and Cassius are cousins, which would make KJ and Jordan what, cousins as well, I think, uncle and nephew, whatever. But soon they'll be family. But even without being family, they talk. Okay, they're familiar with each other, and knowing who Jordan is, he would show up for KJ if KJ needed it. And I'm glad Tori pointed that. She calls Jordan KJ's uncle, which to me is foreshadowing, and no one can tell me anything else. Yeah, as much as I don't like KJ and Tori, I like their friendship, okay? I wish the writers can keep it as that, just being friendship, because watching this whole trying to get into a relationship with KJ dynamic isn't okay. I don't like it. I hate it. But they're pretty together. They look so good together.